First thing we're going to do today is warm up, is evaluate these expressions. So the square root of 49 is 7, so this is 1 plus or minus 7. So that means we do two things, 1 plus 7 and 1 minus 7. So our one answer is negative 6, and 1 plus 7, our answer is 8. So this one, again, we don't have the square root, but we're going to do two things, 8 plus 2 divided by 5, and 8 minus 2 divided by 5. So 8 plus 2 is 10, divided by 5 is 2. 8 minus 2 is 6, divided by 5 is 6/5. So this one, let's evaluate what's under the square root first. Negative 5 squared is 25 minus 4 times 4 times 1 is 16. So we have plus or minus the square root. 25 minus 16 is 9. So plus or minus 3. And then this last one here, let's see. Well, simplify underneath the square root. So this is negative 18 plus or minus the square root of 36 is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. So we have two things, negative 18 plus 6 divided by 6 and negative 18 minus 6 divided by 6. So negative 18 plus 6 is negative 12 divided by 6. So one is negative 2. Negative 18 minus 6 is negative 24 divided by 6 is negative 4. All right, so let's take a look, and I want you to try solving these. Oh dear, well, let's see. So let's see how we did this. Box and circle. X squared negative 2x negative 1.25. 1 times negative 1.25 is negative 1.25. So things that multiply to that. Well, this is kind of a mess. I wonder if the second one is as messy. So So 5 times negative 44. Oh geez, well that one's huge and messy too. I don't really want to do those. Those aren't easy to factor because we have decimals and a really neat number. So one thing we can do when it's too hard to factor is we can do something called the quadratic formula. So you'll notice in standard form it's ax squared plus bx plus c, and then this is the equation and it tells us where those roots are. So let's take a look at this one here. We're going to look at it both ways. So we could factor this one. And we have x squared, negative 8x, and 15. So 1 times 15 is 15. So we got 1 and 15, 5 and 3, and it needs to add to negative 8. So we would have negative 5x and negative 3x. And then the outside of our box is x and x minus 5 minus 3. So it factors into x minus 5 and x minus 3 equals 0. So our answers are x equals 5 and x equals 3. So quadratic formula. So our a value is what's before the x squared. So our a value would just be 1. Our b value is what's before the x. So our b value is negative 8, and our c value, the number by itself, is 15. So using our quadratic formula, x equals the opposite of b, so 8 plus or minus the square root, negative 8 squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a. So what does this simplify to? So 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 minus 60, all divided by 2. I did not leave enough room for this, so equals 8 plus or minus the square root of 4 over 2. So that's 8 plus or minus 2 over 2, which branches into 8 plus 2 over 2, which would be 5, and 8 minus 2 over 2, which is negative 3. So we get those same answers. So on this next page, you are going to be looking at some of these and the solutions are given. So you're going to use the quadratic formula to verify this. So let's see, a is 1, b is 4, c equals negative 5. So x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times a. So So we have negative 4 plus or minus, let's see this, so this would be 16 plus 20 over 2. So this is negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 36 over 2. So negative 4 plus or minus 6 over 2. So negative 4 plus 6 over 2, negative 4 minus 6 over 2. So that's negative 5, and this is 1. So we got those. So let's try this next one. A is 1, B equals 7, C equals 12. So x equals the opposite of b, plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times 1. And a lot of times people type in everything under the square root. So that's 49 minus 48, b squared minus 4ac. So this would be negative 1 all over 2. So I didn't get those for a solution there. Well, let's double check. Maybe this problem is wrong. So negative 3 squared, so that's 9 plus 7 times negative 3 plus 12. So I must be doing something wrong. B squared minus 4ac. Let's see. Whoops. I need to grab a calculator here. So I'm going to double check it because we can also just see where these cross here. So let's see. X squared plus 7x plus 12. Well, that's where it crosses. So what am I doing wrong? Oh, 49 minus 48 is positive 1. Oh my gosh, I just wasn't thinking. So this is negative 7 plus or minus 1 over 2. Negative 7 plus 1 over 2 is negative 3. Negative 7 minus 1 over 2 is negative 4. So we do get those answers. Sorry guys, I was all messed up there. All right, so let's have you guys go through and check all of these and make sure that you get those answers.